everyone, welcome to week 3. I hope everyone had a safe and happy Labor Day. I took the time to spend with my family yesterday, so I am posting our weekly announcement today since yesterday was a holiday. We have a shorter to-do list this week, so always if you go under content, you'll get to manage content, and then you come to the week, you'll see week 3, which is this week, and you'll have your to-do list. Your to-do list, I've tried to link everything that we need in the to-do list because I realize that desire to learn is sometimes not very friendly in navigating from place to place. If I have a link wrong, please someone shoot me an email and I will fix it as soon as possible because there's lots of little buttons in Desire to Learn, so they're easy to miss on my end. You're going to do a close reading of the source, and then you're going to do a discussion. Make sure that you have a post by tomorrow, and then that responses to 3 of your peers by Sunday. Also make sure that your initial response ends up in your self-reflection. The reason I do self-reflections is because I have found that when students actually go back and review the posts that they found, they can honestly grade themselves, and eventually the caliber of the discussion rises. Students, if they have to reflect on what they've posted, actually do a lot better if they take the time to do an honest assessment. Make sure you get that into Dropbox by this Sunday before 11:55 p.m. Each discussion is worth 10 points. And this discussion is based on the close reading, which comes straight from your textbook. If you haven't noticed already, all of the assignments are straight from your reader. Your reader is the Bible for this class. This week we are going to be looking at sourcing questions. So we are going to look at the who is the author, when was it created, where was it created, how was it created, and the entire humdinger of the all sourcing questions is what was the purpose it was created. And you have to do this by looking at other primary source and secondary source information at the time. You and your reader have an excerpt from Frederick Douglass's autobiography, and you also have the picture or the painting of the School of Athens. Both of these are very, very famous sources, and I want you to ask 5 sourcing questions about the source. Now, a sourcing question is a little bit different than an analysis question of the content. A sourcing question is going to look at the factors that created the source, not necessarily about the actual words or details in the source itself. So when you're sourcing something, you're trying to figure out more about the purpose of the creation of the source or the purpose for the source. So when you ask your who, what, why, where questions for this assignment, which is going to be about a half a page, I want you to ask sourcing questions, but I want you to dig a little deeper than who created this source, where was it created, why was it created. Those are basic high school questions, and we want deeper sourcing questions that'll lead us to a more complete picture of these 2 primary sources. After you have some of those 5 deeper sourcing questions, please then do a quick internet search, preferably at reliable sources, to figure out the answer to that, and you'll upload that as a document and then share some of your findings in the discussion. So that's this week. I was also looking at your quiz grades, and to my dismay, they were absolutely terrible. And I realized I don't think that's your fault. I think somehow I clicked a wrong button when I set up the quizzes, and it's given everybody really funky scores and really terrible scores. So I have an appointment made with the Desire to Learn people, and I will get to the bottom of what the heck I did to make our quiz scores so low. And if need be, by the end of next week, I'll go and manually enter them in if I have to, because those are ridiculous. So I apologize for freaking you out on the quiz scores. Short week quiz scores. I managed to go through all of your surveys. Thank you for sharing all of that information with me. It is very helpful, and I put us all into groups. So I'll be posting an announcement today. Look at the course home where I have all of my announcements, and you'll see an announcement of who is in your group. Start private messaging them, making friends, exchanging numbers, or exchanging emails so that you guys can communicate. The last thing I want to show you today is a message thread. We start off, I randomly picked Jared, and Jared did a great job with his discussion last week. He's got a detailed explanation of his interview. Excellent. He's rated everybody at the correct stages. Fantastic. And then he gives me 2 paragraphs of analysis. What I really want to see in this class is lots of this analysis. And I want us to move away from I think, I feel, to just stating our analysis as fact. Because if you look at your history monographs, that's what historians do. They don't say I in their writing, they just list it as a fact that has happened. So get in the practice of trying to do that. This one was a little hard because we interviewed people, so things like I interviewed, that's okay. But I think, I feel, those are all expressions that we want to get away from. Also, I want to look at the responses. A lot of the responses this week were pretty surface level. Oh yeah, people think that history is just random facts and dates and there's no connection. I highlight Alexandria because she dug a little bit deeper. She compared her post to someone else. Her post to Jared's and Jared's to hers. She saw that she moved past by saying it's trivial and saw the present as some kind of vacuum that was cut off from the past. They were only interested in how useful or relevant history was to their lives without consideration of the larger impact on history. Now that's saying the same thing as quite a few of you had said, but in a little bit more analytical way. She was digging a little bit deeper. They couldn't see that history has shaped their lives regardless of how much effect it seems to have. I would have loved a sentence about why history is missing this connection. But I want to say that this was a great post because it dug a little bit deeper and it didn't repeat necessarily what everybody else has repeated. I'm not saying in the discussions that you have to look at everybody else's and see what they're saying so you don't repeat, but you do have to add something significant to the discussion that is forwarding it and is not a repeat of what the other two people before had said. Excellent. Have a great week. Please email me with questions and look for your group assignments.